Let us look at the important reactions. The first one is the nitrogen cycle. So here nitrification is the first reaction we will see. Ammonia oxidation as shown here happens. 2NH3 plus 3 oxygen gives nitrite plus water and 4 hydrogen plus ions are released. So the pathway is ammonia oxidizing bacteria like Nitrosomonas oxidize ammonia to nitrate ions. Then the nitrate oxidizing bacteria like Nitrobacter further oxidize nitrite to nitrate. So these are all the two reactions that are happening. So the next is the nitrate reduction reaction or the denitrification reaction. So the nitrate ion reacts and with 10 electrons and 12 H plus ions gives nitrogen gas and 6 H2O. So the pathway by which the reaction happens is basically the denitrifying bacteria reduce nitrate to nitrogen gas or nitrous oxide N2O, which is completing the nitrogen cycle and releasing the nitrogen back into the atmosphere. So first we started from the ammonia, and the ammonia is broken down to give nitrogen gas. And what is the nitrate oxidation? So here is the nitrate oxidation, which is converting nitrate reacts with oxygen to give nitrate. The next one is the sulfur cycle. So here the hydrogen sulfide oxidation takes place. Hydrogen sulfide reacts with oxygen to give sulfate anion and water. So the sulfur oxidizes like bacteria like Thiobacillus and Beggia oxidize hydrogen sulfide to sulfate anion, contributing to soil and water chemistry. So the next is the oxidation of sulfur. The sulfur reacts with oxygen in the presence of water to give sulfuric acid. And finally, the sulfate which is formed in the first reaction undergoes reduction. So the sulfate reduction reaction is given here, which again produces the hydrogen sulfide. So from the hydrogen sulfide we go to sulfate anion, and the sulfate anion further undergoes reduction to produce the hydrogen sulfide. So that means the cycle is complete. So the sulfate reducing bacteria, especially the organisms such as D-sulfovibrio, reduces sulfate to hydrogen sulfide in anaerobic conditions. So how the cycling of inorganic sulfur compound happens? One is the cryosphere specifics. Here chemolithotropes sulfur cycling microbes contribute to primary productivity in the high Arctic sulfur rich superglacial springs and sulfide rich thermal springs in the Svalbard and Norway. They are present in the cold hypersaline environments such as cryopegs. So these are all the places where the bacteria live. And with respect to the microbial community composition, the hypersaline spring contains abundant sulfur oxidizing bacteria, which are key players in the primary production, and the sulfate reducing bacteria are also present. So these are present in the hypersaline springs. And what is the difference in the community composition? The active microbial communities at this last hammer springs differ from the total microbial biomass that is detected. So that means different regions have different types of bacteria. The third one is a carbon cycle. So here the most important one is the methanotrophy, that is methane oxidation. Methane is oxidized in the presence of oxygen to give carbon dioxide. So methanotrophs, that is bacteria like Methylococcus, oxidize methane to carbon dioxide. This mitigates the methane emissions, which is important in the Arctic environment where the methane is a significant greenhouse gas. And how the carbon is fixed? The Calvin cycle is the place where the carbon is basically fixed. The carbon dioxide is converted into sugars. So this is the Calvin cycle. In this Calvin cycle, the carbon dioxide is converted into sugar. That is how the carbon is fixed. So the chemolithotrophic organisms such as those in cold environment basically fix the carbon dioxide into organic compound. Carbon dioxide is an inorganic compound that is getting converted to an organic compound and using the energy from inorganic compounds and reducing power of NADPH. Then the next one what we saw was the hydrothermal systems. So chemosynthesis in the hydrothermal vents are basically given here. Hydrogen sulfide oxidation happens for generating the energy. hydrogen sulfide in the presence of oxygen gives sulfate anions. The chemosynthetic bacteria, that is bacteria at hydrothermal vent, use hydrogen sulfide as an energy source to synthesize organic molecules in the absence of sunlight. So this is the most important one, because photosynthesis generally happens, but in the case of hydrothermal vent there is no sunlight, so due to which these kind of reactions actually take place. And another reaction is the hydrogen oxidation. Hydrogen reacts with oxygen to give hydrogen peroxide. Some of the species, basically these Hydrogenovibrio and Acufex are the organisms which utilize hydrogen gas as an energy source, mainly in the environment that is present in the hydrothermal vents where hydrogen is abundant.